It's Friday Night Frenzy, brought to you by Ford.
Western Slope, how's it going? Welcome to Friday Night Frenzy presented by Ford. It is week 9. I am Titus Cleveland. That is Jackson Cowan. And Jeff Hinkle, he'll join us a little bit later in the show. He took the drive to Montrose, but he will be in attendance for this one. But Jackson, man, we are already in week 9, and we are getting closer and closer to playoff contention.
Yeah, it's getting exciting, and some teams unfortunately aren't necessarily going to make the playoffs, but I think we saw plenty of teams that are going to be making the playoffs.
Right.
One of those teams is Eagle Valley. They are undefeated this season. So far, 8-0 record. I've been really impressed with them. Let's look at the highlights. They went down to Rifle to face off against the Bears. Rifle still looking for their first win on the season. Unfortunately for them, it's Eagle Valley who gets it going. Their first offensive play, Nathan Leeper, he takes off. Nothing but green grass in front of him. He goes all the way to the house, 7-0 Devils early. And a little while later, it's a screen from Taven Shreve to Malachi Barros, 14-0. Eagle Valley is rolling in this one. You see a little bit of the rain there. It was a wet evening yesterday night. Alex Gonzalez, though, he gets Rifle on the board just before the second half, just before the end of the first half, I should say. 14-3, second half. Eagle Valley driving. Coulter Blakely to throw. Tip drill. Ethan Kaiser comes up with the pick, and not to be outdone, Blakely scrambles again. This time, it's Cash Garcia coming up here in just a second. Another pick. The Rifle Bears defense was all over the place in the second half. That sets up one chance late for the Bears. Gonzalez throw, but that's picked off by Xavier De Herrera. Titus, there were picks all over this second half. In the end zone, that seals it for Eagle Valley. Eagle Valley stays undefeated. They win 14-3. Rifle falls to 0-9 on the season. Eagle Valley finishes the year on the road against Palisade next week. Rifle wraps up at home versus Steamboat Springs. After the bye week, they're on the road in 2 weeks.
Man, that was an insane game. But let's check out this game. Fruta versus Valor Christian. And they waste no time. Second to tone, Eagles quarterback hands it off to Chase Hanosh. And Hanosh picks up some big yardage, who had a big night, finished with 113 yards on just 12 carries. Next play, Titus Ward drops back with a quick pass to sophomore Jared Horn for the touchdown. And Valor Christian, they are on the board first. They go up 6-0 after the missed field goal, but the Eagles, they get the ball back after shutting the Wildcats offense, and Horde keeps it rolling, steps out of the pocket, throws on the run, finds Noah Pacheco in stride, and they are just finding the end zone on every drive. They're up 14-0 second quarter now, more of the same. Valor knocking on the door again. It drops back and finds Cash Spencer. I mean, that one, Jackson, was just on the money, a dime for 6. Valor Christian absolutely owns the first half, putting up 35 points before the break, and they weren't done, folks. 2 more touchdowns in the second, pushed the lead even further. Fruiter finally got on the board in the fourth, but this one was all Eagles from start to finish. Final score, Valor Christian 49, Wildcats 6.
We move to Olathe, who is 4-2. This game happened tonight. The last 2 happened yesterday, taking on the 5-2 Meeker Cowboys. Senior day going on in Olathe, but it's the Cowboys who strike first. Tucker Chin walks it in, 8-0. Meeker. Then Cade Mills, this time the quarterback keeps it himself, makes it 14-0. Early on, this first quarter was dominated by Meeker. Mills, he's taking a shot deep through the night sky, wide open. Lawson Anderson with the catch, 22-0. And then Wesley Thompson with the pick 6. Interceptions all over the place today, Titus. And then a little later, finally, Olathe starting to make some plays. Another tip drill, and Garrett Keith finds Colton Snell. Olathe, though, they just can't find the end zone. Meeker rolls in this one. 41-7, the Cowboys take down Olathe. Meeker is 6-2. They go to Grand Valley next week. The Pirates fall to 4-3. They finish the regular season on the road against Cedar Edge.
Man, those were some impressive games to start out on Friday Night Frenzy. But if I had to ask you, Jackson, what stood out to you from the 2 games that you got to see?
I think the biggest thing for me was the fact that Rifle, despite the record, they haven't necessarily been great all season long. They played till the very end. They were able to run the ball. They just couldn't find the end zone, Titus. I thought they looked really good. That defense really stepped up, especially in the second half. How about you? Any notes from Valor Christian and Fruita?
I mean, we know what Valor Christian's going to do. You know what those type of teams on the front range can do. Fruita, I think they're just going to continue to compete and continue to fight, and I think they showed that not just in yesterday's game, but last week against Mount Vista. This is a team that's still trying to figure out the 5A, the competition, and they're going to get better as the years go on, but they're just going to take their lumps as of right now. But it's a lot more action, like as the Palisade went on the road to take on the Steamboat Springs, and they won 49-14. The Bulldogs are 6-2 and have won 4 straight. They wrap up the season at home against Eagle Valley. Steamboat Springs has struggled as of late. They are 4-3, and they head to Glenwood Springs next week.
Another team going on the road, the Delta Panthers went to Moffett County, and they absolutely dominated Titus. They beat the Bulldogs 42-8. Moffett ends the season at 1-8. Delta has won their last 2 games. They sit at 6-2. They host Coal Ridge to finish the season next week. Coming up, we have the latest from Grand Junction. Titus went to that game, and Jeff Hinkle, he's going to join us to talk about the latest from Montrose.
It's Friday Night Frenzy, brought to you by Ford.
Welcome back to Friday Night Frenzy, folks, presented by Ford. Guys, the Grand Junction Tigers, they are feeling good right now, okay? Winners of the last 3 games, coming from a solid 31-14 road win over Centurus. But tonight, okay, the challenge gets a little bit real. The Tigers are back home, and they're staring down a Cheyenne Mountain squad that hasn't lost on the road all season. 4-0 away from home. Let's see what happens in this one. We pick things up with the playoff hopes on the line. Cheyenne Mountain, the Red-tailed Hawks trying to stay in contention after a tough loss last week, while Junction chasing win number 4 in a row. First quarter now, Cheyenne Mountain catches everybody napping, even myself, including myself. Sam Hawker drops back and finds Isaac Cineros wide open downfield for 6. Hawks strike first. It is 6-0, and after the missed field goal, it's 6-0. The Tigers, they got some tricks of their own, all right? Quarterback Andrew Neese hands it off to Paxton Weber, but wait, he turns it and plays a launch at it and launches it to Drew Marsh for the touchdown. No one's catching him. Beautifully drawn up, and we're knotted back at 6 after the missed 2-point try. Now, second quarter, the Hawks, they're back in the red zone. They're trying to take the lead. Hawker calls his own number, punches it in, and Cheyenne Mountain retakes the lead 13-6. But things started to heat up after halftime. Grand Junction battled back with 2 touchdowns in the third to make it 20-all, but the Hawks answered in the fourth to pull back ahead. That's when the Tigers flipped the switch straight and pulled something out of the Denver Broncos, that magic that they had last Sunday. With the fourth quarter, 23 unanswered points, rallying from behind to stun Cheyenne Mountain 43-35. They stay alive. The Tigers win 4 straight and a statement finish under the Friday night lights.
What a game.
What a game. I can't even get it out. No. That was insane.
Let's go down to Montrose, though, where the Red Hawks are looking to go perfect on the season at home, looking to keep the perfect season alive. It's a pretty special night for some of the players. Let's get you out to the field. It's senior night as the Montrose Red Hawks take on the Wide Field Gladiators, looking to stay perfect at home. The last time they lost at Montrose Stadium was September 8th, 2023. First quarter, Cade Saunders calls his own number, tricks me. There he is. Cade Saunders calls his own number into the end zone, 7-0 Red Hawks. Now a rarity. How about a pass by the Red Hawks? Saunders finds Chase Meehan. Red Hawks go up 2 scores. How about 1 through the air? How about number 2 coming by land? Coming right at ya. Saunders, or that's Chase Meehan, sorry. Chase Meehan gets in on his second score of the night. And how about, this is a name we've heard all the time. Elijah Womack from a couple yards out. But this is what we see more from him. 34 yards out, Womack, there goes that man again. I say it every single week. How about a couple touchdowns on his last home game as a Montrose Red Hawk? And how about a little Connect 4 action? Binyam Kennedy on the end around another week. How about another Elijah Womack 3-touchdown game, huh, folks? And that streak of winning at home will stay alive. Montrose, the most points they've scored all season. They hang a 60-burger on Wide Field, and they've now outscored their opponents 437-82 on the season. Wow. Video game members, they will go over to Pueblo to face the Pueblo West Cyclones next week with a perfect regular season on the line, and they've scored at least 50 points in all of their league games this season.
Oh, man, that's remarkable to hear those type of numbers. I think Montrose is just picking up where they left off from last year. They still want that. They want to be able to claim themselves as champions. They didn't get it done last year, and they're proving that they want to go back and do it the right way.
And this might be the team to do it. Next week is probably going to be their toughest test against the Pueblo West team. They had to beat twice last year in the playoffs to get to that championship game. And making that travel over the Rockies to go over to Pueblo and play this Pueblo West team that's just a perennial powerhouse, that is where Montrose is going to have to prove that they are a legitimate team.
That's just a fact. But let's look at some more games that took place tonight. Let's take a look at the North Fork headed to Grand Valley and finished the regular season strong. 50-6 was the final. They finished the season 6-3. Grand Valley finishes their season at Meeker next week.
The Central Warriors, they head to Longmont tomorrow, a nice Saturday afternoon game. It's the final road game of the season for the Warriors. Both teams are 1-7 going into the weekend matchup. Tomorrow's game is at 1 o'clock. Central has its final home game next Thursday. They host Riverdale Ridge as they finish the regular season. Titus, I want to go back to Grand Junction. You mentioned it. They've won 4 in a row. They are dominant, and we saw them kind of get dominated by Durango a few weeks ago, and now all of a sudden they flipped the script.
I feel like they found the answer. You know, Andrew Neese is fine. He has that confidence that he has. You know, Matthias Martinez, he's firing on all cylinders. Drew Marsh, he's not afraid to go up and make the big play. So I like where Junction is at right now. Let's see what they can do if they make a push into the postseason.
Yeah, and Montrose just keeps on rolling.
Montrose is Montrose.
Hey, I've got
Montrose
the frequent flyers down to Montrose. I got Highway 50 on my GPS every single Friday night.
Man, but that's a wrap on Friday Night Frenzy. Tune in next week for Week 10 of Friday Night Frenzy. That's a wrap. I'm Titus, Jackson, Jeff. We'll see you guys next week.